All right, some brand new utility knife pickups. This guy right here is actually brand new. I just got this in the mail a few days ago. The others have been around for a little bit, but they're brand new to me. I just picked them up, but they're not brand new releases such as this guy right here. And what am I talking about? This is the Demco Razor Shark right here. So I just got this in the mail a couple days ago. I pre-ordered it from Blade HQ, so I'm really excited to check this guy out. And let's go right down the line here. These two are basically the same exact thing, except for the pocket clip on the back. These are the Refined Gear Cut and the Refined Gear Cut. That's right, they're the exact same name, but this cut is spelled with a C, and this cut is spelled with a K. And no, I am not making that up. The next one in line is the Tip Gear Titanium Utility Penknife. This one is really cool. And I'll talk about this one in just a bit, but the first one I want to talk about is this guy right here. This is the Fissa Premium Titanium Utility Knife. Now, this was a recommendation on one of my other utility knife videos, and I'm sort of glad you guys recommended this knife to me because I really like this. The Fissa Titanium Utility Knife isn't necessarily all made of titanium either. The body here is made from aluminum. The attachment point right here, that is a red anodized aluminum attachment point, but you can see the blade holder right there is what's made of titanium. And Fissa makes sure that you definitely know about it right there. But if you guys thought this was all made of titanium, it's not. This is an aluminum body. But when I first picked this up, I fell in love with it. It's a practical design, really lightweight and super compact. The locking mechanism is a button lock. So with that button lock, you can see it. The action is really nice. Really smooth action with this Fissa utility knife. But if you don't want to use that button lock to flick it open, as I just demonstrated, the only other way, well, there's two other ways. You can do the pinch and grab right here. Let me wash my thumb. Geez, the pinch and grab, or there's a nail nick right there. But I prefer the button lock. It's just so much faster and easier that way. I like it. So two things I look for in an everyday carry utility knife, and that is how easy is it to carry and how easy is it to change out those blades. So the quick blade change mechanism is right there. So you can see it just lifts up right there. Super fast and easy. Just lift it up with your thumb and that blade slides right out. Super quick, super easy. And just reverse the steps. I mean, you can't get any easier than that. And as with most quick blade change mechanisms, there's a tiny little bit of play, but it's very, very minimal here. In regards to how it carries, it does have a pocket clip right there, tip up, and it's not exactly deep carry. You're only going to have about a 1/4 inch sticking up above your pockets there, but I think that's fine. And I like the design of this pocket clip. Some nice tension right there. It's not too much, not too little. There is a hole right there for a lanyard, but there's also a lanyard loop right there on the top with that red anodized aluminum. I love the looks of this. It sort of reminds me of the colors of my channel. You got your dark gray there, you got the red. So overall, I'm a fan of this Fissa utility knife. Very affordable too. In fact, if you want up-to-date prices, I'll put all that information down below in my description box for this and every knife that you're going to see here today. So that is the Fissa Premium Utility Knife. Big fan of this. But now let's move on to the Tip Gear Titanium Utility Penknife. Now, Tip Gear had a Kickstarter going for this. I believe it ran from April to May of 2025, and I apologize because I've had this since then. It actually got lost in the pile of gear that I have for reviews, and I just never made a video on it. Like I said, it sort of got lost in the mix, and I sort of feel bad now because the Kickstarter actually failed. It only had 5 backers and raised like $700. And honestly, I don't know why, because this, I think, could be huge. Check it out. It's all made of grade 5 titanium right there. Deep carry pocket clip that's actually deep carry and is reversible. It features a liner lock right there and a lanyard attachment point right there at the end. It also has a pretty basic ruler. I've never really been a big fan of rulers on utility knives or multi-tools or anything like that. I would just grab my tape measure if I need to measure something, but regardless, it's there for emergency purposes only. And what that emergency would be, I have no idea. But the real standout feature of this utility knife is this right here. You see that little bolt mechanism? You push that in, and look at that. there's an actual pen built in here. I thought this was a really neat idea. The only other knife that I have that features a pen like this is from Victorinox, but that's more of a smaller multi-tool that features other tools. This is just a pen and a utility knife. That's it, which I like, but this pen here isn't really supposed to be used every day. If you have to jot something down really quickly and don't have a pen on you, that's what this is for. And I'll give you a closer look at that bolt mechanism, and it is spring-loaded, obviously. So if I just push it in, yeah, check that out. Let me do it again. Lock that in, and then boom. I love it. Like I said, this is a shame that only 5 backers saw this and backed this utility knife. As I already mentioned, it's a grade 5 titanium body. It is skeletonized, as you can see, to sort of cut down on that weight a little bit. And right there's a single thumb stud. So if I open it, you can see what that blade holding mechanism looks like right there. And yeah, that is the quick blade change mechanism. So like I said, I always look for 2 things: ease of carry, ease of changing out that blade. Now, what you want to do here to change out this blade is make sure it's not in the locked position. So I just put it down halfway, take my thumb, and then lift up on that little lever right there. And once I do that, that's going to release. Let me get a good hold of that. There we go. That's going to release the blade. And to put it back in, just reverse the steps. Just let it slide right back in. Let me see if I'm doing this right. There we go. Slides right back in, locks. And let's check out the play. Yeah, there's a little bit of play. This is normal for these quick change mechanisms. If you want a super strong razor in your utility knife, you're going to have one that actually locks down, but then you need a tool to get it out. So the compromise for changing out your blades easy is you're going to have just a tiny little bit of play. It's not a deal breaker by any means, but just know it's there. And the creators of this knife opted for Teflon washers in the pivot. So it does feel really smooth, and it makes the overall thickness of the knife a lot thinner. So it does feel smooth. Just if you want to flick it open, hey, I just did. I was just going to say you can't do it because I've been having issues flicking this open. And what do you know? I do it the first time on cam. One sec. Yeah, see, that's what I usually get. It's stiff, right? It's stiff but smooth. Now, unfortunately, I can't find this available online anymore. The Kickstarter is still up, and I can give you guys a link to the Kickstarter, or maybe you can contact his name is Yuri, the actual maker of this tip gear. It's the tip gear utility pen knife. You can maybe contact him to see if some of these are still available or if this went into production. I really have no idea, but I can't really find anywhere that's selling this right now, which is a shame. So like I said, I'll put that link down below in my description box. Maybe you guys can contact the maker of this and maybe there's some available. I don't know. All right, the next utility knives I want to show you guys are from Refined Gear. And like I said, one is called the Cut and the other one is called the Cut, K and C, which I thought was silly at first, but if I get in closer, you can see that is a keychain utility tool and a clip utility tool. So now it makes sense. Now the Cut and Cut are smaller brothers of the Refined Gear Duplex. Now I did a video on this a while back, so you can see if I bring in the Cut with a K, it's definitely smaller and a lot thinner than the Duplex. But it's basically the same idea. They're both made of a 3K carbon fiber. That is a 4mm thick carbon fiber frame. So very, very thin and very lightweight. Now this is the Cut with the K, the keychain utility tool. You can see that pretty large attachment point right there to put on your keys. But let me show you how this works. The locking mechanism is right there. If I push it forward with my thumb, you can see how that moves. So the idea is put your thumb right there dead center of the razor blade and lift up on that locking mechanism and it slides forward. So it has 2 different positions. That is position 1 and that locks right into place based on the design. Let me show you the back. So you can see the 2 positions right there. In the second position, right there, click. That's how much usable blade space you're going to have. Roughly 50% of that razor blade will be usable. So that's nice because when you're done with that 1/2, you can just flip it around and you have a whole new razor blade without having to actually replace it. And now that the blade is pushed up, you can see that magnet right there that keeps the blade in place. That's an N52 neodymium magnet. So if I lift up on that locking mechanism and bring it back, you can see it locks into place pretty nice. But that magnet isn't necessarily locking that blade into place. That locking mechanism is doing that, but it still has a nice feel when you push it backwards and that magnet grabs onto that blade. So it is doing something. And let's check out the cut with the C. The C stands for clip. So it does have a pocket clip, deep carry pocket clip. Actually, very deep carry. You can see right there, that blade itself is going to actually sink within your pockets. So that is a true deep carry pocket clip. And it basically works exactly the same as this version right here. And I actually forgot to show you guys on this cut right here. You can see they both have magnets on the other side, so they will stick to your toolbox or anything you want to stick this to that's metal. So what do you guys think of these two options right here? Very minimalistic, very thin, very lightweight. The refined gear cut with a K and cut with a C. And the last utility knife I want to show you guys is this guy right here, the Demco Razor Shark. This is brand new, just released. I pre-ordered this from Blade HQ, just came in a few days ago, so I don't really have too much experience with this guy yet. And let me just be clear here, I love Andrew Demco designs. I have, I think, 3 20.5s, Demco 20.5 knives. All of them, as you know, have a shark lock, and so does this one right here, hence the name Razor Shark. And my Demco knives are flawless. Some of my favorite knives in my collection. The shark lock works really nice, but a couple times flicking this open, this shark lock sort of got locked. So you saw that right there. It sort of gets locked into place. I'm not really sure why it's doing that. It gets really stiff here. Maybe I just have the runt of the litter. I don't know, but it happens. And right there, see that? It gets stuck. I don't like that. But I know that's not common with Demco knives. Like I said, maybe I just have a weird model here. But everything else I absolutely love about this thing. This is a nice design. It feels really nice in my hands. You can see that jimping right there from my thumb right there on the spine. Everything feels really nice here. And you can see what looks to be about 90% of that blade surface is usable there. This is not a quick blade change mechanism. You do need a tool to change out that blade, but that is rock solid, obviously. That is a screw. And they do give you a tool right here, so you do have to carry this if you want to carry around the Razor Shark. And as far as the tool goes, this is nice. I mean, it has this little extra plastic piece right there to get some leverage. So I do like the tool, but man, I just get so used to the quick change, the toolless utility knives that, man, now I got to carry around this tool. So let's talk about this body. It sits on the Nano Shark frame. That is the Nano Shark frame with GRN handles. Another deep carry pocket clip that, yes, it is reversible. It also has caged ball bearings in the pivot. And you can see when the shark lock doesn't get stuck, the action is really, really smooth. It's just once in a while that shark lock gets stuck. And when I first pulled it out of the box and opened it, it froze. I couldn't even pull this back. I literally had to push this back as hard as I could just to get it unstuck. So like I said, hopefully I just got a bad model that just needs to be worked through a little bit. But overall, the design of this, I'm really digging it. What else here? A couple barrel spacers right there at the tail. And let's see, no lanyard attachment that I can see. Dual thumb studs. Thumb stud on each side of that blade holder, and it does come with an extra screw. So if you lose this screw changing out that blade, they do give you another one, which is nice. And one thing I should mention is when it's closed, the footprint here is pretty large. You can see it's wide. So it's not terribly thick, but turned in profile. This is a wide utility knife. So I just figured I should mention this, but this isn't anything new for a Demco knife either. So that's pretty much it for this video, guys. What do you think of these new utility knives? The Demco Razor Shark right here, the Tip Gear Titanium Utility Pen Knife. I love this one. The Fissa Premium Titanium Utility Knife, and the Refined Gear, where are they? Right here. The Refined Gear Cut and Cut. And if you guys want to check out anything for yourself, I'll have all that information down below in my description box. But if you did enjoy this video, please give me that thumbs up. Please subscribe. And go!